Hello, everyone, and welcome to technically round one of OSL Academy Division. This match was delayed after a few complications, so although this is technically a round one series, we are still in round three, and we will resume later on in the night with the round three matches. But that being said, this series is a best of one blight set on Suffocation Pit 1. It is Scarlett versus Ethereal, two OCE teams going head to head for the first time in the Academy, so this should be pretty interesting. I have been watching in the background, and so far I've been very impressed. But what more do I really expect when it's two masterclass players coaching these teams? Those players in question are Monk, who is the coach of Ethereal, and LV Duck, who is the coach of Scarlett. Nevertheless, on very short notice, I'll be casting this first series tonight alongside with me is none other than Gohan. How does it feel to be back on the desk after so long, mate?
Oh, it definitely feels very jarring because it's been a while since we've both been on this little situation here, but we do have pretty much the only two OCE teams within this first group as well. Group B having only Lamora as their resident OCE members. So we'll see how these guys go because currently these two teams are in the running for not being able to make it. So Scarlett has to win this. So does Ethereal. So this is pretty much the do or die for both of these teams to be able to go into Division 1. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how these guys go. It is Blight, a notorious killer, and it's on Suffer Pit 1. So a very good choke map. So if a team can hold that top side or bottom side, wherever side they decide, it's going to be quite rough.
El Clasico of some sort, and yeah, you do forget that there are 10 teams in this division, but only 3 of them are OCE, so yeah, it's just interesting to point that out. Nevertheless, we'll be seeing Lemon spawn all the way to the bottom side, go all the way down to the top side of the map over to this 11 corner here. We'll be spotting out Knight. Just a very early find on the stealth from the survivors, unfortunately, and now going to be taking this quick tag, but utilizing the main building very well. I anticipate this is going to be a pre-drop off the pallet and running, try to make sure we use that window to the best of our abilities, but Lemon not going to be allowing that, and that's a very fast down. That is something within the first 20 seconds of the match. Very unfortunate for the team of Ethereal at the moment, so Lemon going to take this hook over towards this 2 side of the map now, and he's going to probably try to push these survivors off the generators that they already rotated down to. We did spot 2 survivors right off the rip, so we know one of them definitely didn't make enough time to go through the choke all the way down to the bottom side, but Lemon just doing his rounds check at the moment, not really seeing anyone bottom side of the map, but choosing to go back to the hook, anticipating a quick and early pull, which can happen sometimes, but isn't really recommended in a time like this. You would really just want to let Knight just sit on the hook here and reach the second stage, as you don't really have too much gen progress, and that's kind of what they're doing here, really playing a really good stealth game, just hiding behind these boxes here. Lemon will be kicking himself while watching this back, knowing that, oh, that stealth was so close to just getting this pull, and now he is the deli in hand, and he does have the medkit, so no baits there, but Lemon going to choose to leave this hook, and this is going to be a very nice pull, a free pull, if you will, and now we just have to really last here on the side of our tunnel out. Going to be taking that endurance tag onto Knight there and following up with maybe some consecutive rushes as soon as we get them back. Going to be breaking the door here. Catching Knight off guard. The check spots and even the sound mind games. My God, not really played well there, but beautifully making back, double backing that pallet, and now going and using the main building once more. He's probably just going to opt to chase here, as this is probably the best chase location here right now, Gohan.
Yeah, indeed it is. Hopefully most of the team is going to be on the bot side working on those gens, and yeah, as you said, really was doing a really good stealth there. Probably going to be kicking himself, especially for Lemon's side. But a lovely tag from Lemon here to get that second hook on to Knight. Knight, unfortunately, not being able to get his dead hard, as he did take the endurance status effect, but 2 gens for that chase, and a third one on around nearing that 50%, so very well done to Lemon, and Lemon is a P100 Blight, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how he can combat this now that he's got this top side now pretty much to worry about. He's probably going to have to work his way over towards the mid top side. He is seen as the survivor here. I believe that was the ace. It was indeed. It's this Bravo missing with Lemon, luckily being able to avoid it, and now Lemon's going to be tagging this middle gen, but I don't think he didn't use his pop on this water tower gen, which is quite rough, so he's only got Eruption and Call of Right on this gen, no longer a pop, so that's quite rough. He doesn't get that 25% on the gen, but he has found his other chases. A lovely tag as well, getting hit through the pallet by Kurdog here. He's now got to run full bot side, but unfortunately Lemon gets his chases back, rushes back quite quickly, And he does get the down, so that is going to be Eruption as well on that water tower gen as well, Hunter.
Very good game macro from Lemon to be able to slug this. That's one survivor currently out of the game, and we're going to be following up the tunnel out on tonight, which is exactly what you have to do in a situation like this after taking, you know, the Eruption advantage point. That's going to be a quick 2-tap on tonight there, and we know that there's no DS in hand. Bravo trying to play around with Knight, trying to keep him alive all that time, and now going to get a free tag onto Bravo. We're going to go back for this hook onto Knight, who will be out of the game. No, but we get the pickup there from Really. Some really nice work there from Really, but we're just going to be going straight back down on the side of Knight, and that's going to render the... Oh, that's going to render the pickup obsolete at the moment. I don't really think they have enough time to get Kurdok back off the ground. He is just kind of stuck there. And as we take this next hook onto Lemon, we're going to be seeing a consecutive tag here, which means this will be a fairly quick down if we're not careful on the side of our survivors, and we've managed to evade that. So now we're going to have to recollect here. There is a 4-gen up top as well. I just want to point that out. So it's just going to be very... it's going to be monumental if the survivors really do get out of this. Actually, no, they did manage to pop water tower gen. So, you know, that bottom gen is... not within our 3-gen. It is a very our 4-gen. It is a very loose 4-gen if you were to count this as one. The gens are still technically in a cluster, but yes, very nice work there not to be getting hit by our survivor there over at the middle side of the map. Not too sure if I caught a glimpse of who that was, but this is really in. Everybody's injured in the trial, so we have to be extremely careful. They are choosing to reset bottom side, so Lemon can afford to chase this all the way down to the top side here. That's going to be a very quick down onto Really not being able to use any pallets in the area, as there's not really much at his disposal to work with. Going to be taking this pick onto Really, and again, being hooked very deep into that top side where we can just sit and just protect our generators. Lemon opting to rush all the way back down to the bottom side. He's having a tremendous game at the moment. The survivors, again, have to pull something monumental out of the hat if they're trying to out this, because right now it is looking like 4K1.
Indeed it is, and especially with the fact that Lemon can kind of just go to this bot mid as like pretty much whenever he wants, and he's pretty much knows where both survivors are here at the bot side. He's already found the other one, being Bravo here, and he's not going to be, he is going to be able to get the tag, only having to use 3 rushes, and he does see that Really was the Delhi player, so now he knows pretty much where everyone is, especially with these scratch marks here at the bot mid here, but he knows if he wants to get this dub, he needs to get Really out as soon as possible, especially when he's in the main 3-gen area. But now this 15-second timer is not going to be enough for Really. He is going to go down. Even with the extended duration of the base kit BT isn't going to be enough. But now he knows where his next chase is going to be. It's going to be Kurdog. But I don't think Kurdog realizes that he's been hit from Eruption. And no, he doesn't. He is going to be taking a free tag for that as well. That is mighty unfortunate. Now Lemon is basically going to be doing what he does best and getting those rushes, and finds Bravo in the midst of trying to get Kurdog here. So now it is pretty much just going to be a little bit of a tango here, going to and from either between Bravo or Kurdog, but it looks like he's going to go for a Kurdog. I don't know where he's going now at this point. He's really playing the tango right now there, Hunter.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of caught out in the bottom side of the map here. Not really being able to cross the choke point, and the only gen that they're going to be able to work is that bottom mid gen, which was ever so close to the hook. We are running all the way down into the middle of our 4-gen here. Not too sure what this is all about. Maybe it's just the fact that this is the only pallet within our vicinity for our disposal here. Lemon getting blinded by that cracker. Some very nice work there from Bravo, who's going to be running all the way back down to 11 as far as he possibly can, and unfortunately not really making too much distance, and we're just rinse repeat with the resets and the downs and the resets and the downs, and we can't move from this position. Lemon opting to slug this to play it extra safe here, and now going to be taking the pick back onto Bravo, probably hooking him somewhere towards the middle of our generators here, and does so nicely. Now going to be going all the way back down to the bottom side where we did see that reset happen. And now the reset coming back onto Really here. Both survivors in the trial healthy, the ones that are in the game at the very least. Some very nice sliding work there from Lemon, but not being able to get the tag onto Kurdog. We do see Really crossing into the bottom side of the map once more, and he doesn't really have anything to do here. He just has to kind of last and chase while hopefully Kurdog rotates for the pull in the mid side, but Lemon catching onto that as we do see the scratch marks here, and just using our bump logic here, not being able to find Kurdog. Some very nice stealth work to evade that tag. And we have just let Kurdog probably rotate around the middle side for free. We do see some scratch marks here. No, he's kind of caught out of this tile. Unfortunately, Caster's Curse, I am eating on my words at the moment. So Bravo just kind of stuck on hook there. No deli in hand, unfortunately, as we did see really use it a little bit earlier in the trial. We do still have Dead Hard and Decisive here at our disposal. Not too sure who's going to be having that. I do believe the Survivor being called off. Bravo is going to have those anti-tunnel perks here, trying to take a hit for his brother. Really just making this loop longer than what it needs to be. And now Bravo getting caught out, unfortunately. I don't know if that was endurance or a Dead Hard there. We're going to follow up the chase there on the side of Lemon, but we're not going to be able to make anything. That is the medium vault into main, and we're just going to be going down. We are going to slug that, as we do anticipate some sort of a DS play there. This is just really what separates, you know, those Div 2 players who are inexperienced to the ones that are experienced. Lemon just really picking up on the game sense here, playing extra well. Now we're going to be taking this Eruption onto the middle bottom generator here. Going to be following up the scratch marks all the way into Shaq, but that's not something we want to overcommit there. We don't spot out the other stealthing Survivor here. Not too sure what this is. It does seem to be really. We do get another tag onto really some nice mechanical work there from Lemon. Now going to be taking the pick onto really, and that's going to be him out of the game. So this has just solidified the 4K2, unless we want to overcommit something while one bro just sits in the background doing a generator. But in all honesty, Gohan, I just don't see a world where that is feasible or where that is going to be panning out.
Yeah, especially with the way how Lemon's been playing so far, I don't see him like overly committing to a chase. But Daniel, with these double bombs though, it looks like it could be a little bit grim here, but we don't see anyone on the gens. Kurdog is only just now working his way towards that bot mid-gen, and now Bravo is also going to be trying to sussing out whether or not he can be on this gen, but no. Lemon has decided to go straight to that bot mid-gen. Now Bravo is going to be able to work on that generator at main for free, but now it is all up to whether or not that Kurdog can be safe and sound. But no, I ate my words as soon as I was going to speak about it. So now it is pretty much up to Kurdog whether or not he can chase out of his mind. He's got all of bot side to work with, but unfortunately Lemon is just going to be able to have the better mechanics here, and because of Eruption being on that main generator, he pretty much just knows exactly where to go. He needs to go straight for that main, but unfortunately for little Bravo, I don't think he realizes that, and he's going to get a tag as well. So now it's pretty much just going to be a done deal, and as you said, Hunter, it is pretty much going to be a solidified 4K2.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is there's the team on the side of Ethereal. I just don't think that they knew. I don't know if the death was really called. They really need to be calling those Eruption downs. As you know, we've got an Eruption value twice in this match via the Aura. So going to be going for something a little bit fancy on the side of Lemon, but not going to be falling for it on the side of Bravo. And yeah, like I was just pointing out, they really need to be calling their downs and hopping off generators preemptively, because yeah, it could have made for such a little bit more of an easier match. You were able to really turn the tides at a couple of those points in the game. Not so much in this last instance where we did get Eruption Aura value, as there was only 2 survivors left in the trial. But that will be the 4K2, like you said, Gohan. And you know, I didn't expect it, in all honesty. I was thinking maybe they'd get some outs, but Lemon just proving to be a little too strong. I'm not too sure who this killer player is going to be for Ethereal, but they do have a tall order. It means they need to get a 4K3. And if you do watch the main season, you know that I say time and time again, the way that you beat a win con like that, like a Tycon, sorry, a 4K2 or 4K3, is you have to take what this killer did and then better it. And you can't really better this. I mean, 4K2 on the Blight, regardless of what team you are, it's just, you need to be getting consecutive downs. You need to be playing extremely aggressive, and obviously having a more aggressive build would aid you in that regard, but I'm not too sure what the other team would have been bringing. But nevertheless, that will be Kurdog being sent off into the distance as we do set up for the second half of this match. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back after a quick and short intermission. And welcome back, everyone, to a 4K2 Tycon on the Blight set. It is Scarlett versus Ethereal. If you are just joining us for the first time, we apologize. There was no live notification, but there is now. So if you are just joining with us, it is a 4K2 tight condition, a 4K win on the side of the survivors, a 4K3 win on the side of our killer here. So Knight has some big boots to fill here, unfortunately. It was requested a little bit before that Bravo was meant to be the killer, but unfortunately joining after pick and bans, this is not going to be the case. So we can only hope that the bro can really, put on his best performance here, as we do know that his repertoire of killers is pretty expendable. And I will say, after having observed him play killer in a few of the OSL tournaments, that it does impress me. It is really nice to see. So hopefully he can really take advantage of what he is given in this match. So spawning in onto the bottom side are going to be rotating up to the top side, where we anticipate that this spawning, stealthing survivors are. We're not really able to see any one line of sight. So already not a first initial chase as quick as our last set. Actually, I eat my words. We do spot Lemon here, but he is in a favorable position as he is gone for something a little bit more safe, but unfortunately preemptively vaulting that window, going to be eating a tag, electing to greed the pallet there and not play the main anymore, just try to run deep into the map here, getting zoned into corner 11, really playing this pallet well, getting the stun and the blind. Very nice stuff there from the side of Lemon, and Knight going to be following up with some extra chase there, but unfortunately the 20% hindrance status effect, if you do know what that is Champion of Light, and that is going to be kind of screwing us over a little bit. And Lemon getting these stuns back to back consecutively, again blinding, but Champion of Light on cooldown. We do have this Z-Wall here in the corner of 10, and we're going to be playing this very well. He's going to opt to die all the way into corner 10. And that is a very good start to the side of the survivors. They are able to rotate, cross through that choke point, and start working on those bottom side generators, all due to the fact that Lemon was able to put on a show for us. So we're going to be taking this hook all the way over into the deep side of 11 here. Not too sure what our gen spread is looking like. If we can hold some sort of a 4 gen up top, that will solidify the win condition here. The tie condition. But we do need to be playing a little bit more aggressive on the side of Knight here. After getting that hook, we need to be pressing those survivors off those generators and really finding our stealth outs here. And unfortunately, with the RNG that's been handed to us, everything is so far spread, Gohan.
Yeah, indeed it is. And he does have a decent, somewhat of a 4 gen. He does have that mid 2 gen as well, but we do see Chief is running in for that unhook. He wants to get his deli ASAP and get Knight back onto that top side of the map. Unfortunately, Knight is going to be able to bump into this tree, so he isn't going to be able to get all his rushes, but he does get his 2 rushes back quite quickly. And now it is up to whether or not Lemon can survive long enough for him to get his deli. But it seems like he's going to fatigue on top of Lemon, so now Lemon is going to be able to get this free drop on the pallet here, and now he's going to be able to run towards main, but no, Knight is going to be able to stop him. But we do see that the Champions of Light comes through, so now he is going to be able to get his life for free. So now he's going to be able to vault into the main window as well and basically loop this main for his life. And we do see Dej and Chief in the background being able to pop that second generator as well. So now Lemon is going to be playing a little bit greedy for this main pallet, but he does able to avoid and evade the killer for a bit longer. So now he's able to vault this second main window and probably even loop it into this area here at 1, but does he get it just in time? He does make it just in time, so now Lemon is going to play this out of his mind, and he is playing it really fantastically as well. So now Vish is being able to get another gen up towards nearing 50%, and all just for 1 chase as well through our GOAT Lemon here, the killer of previous match as well. Lemon playing out of his mind, but unfortunately the slow vault isn't just going to be enough, Hunter.
Yeah, we are at the win condition at the moment, and Lemon being a little bit cheeky trying to slow vault into that. I do believe that Dej would be somewhere around stealth for this pool as well. Gonna probably snag it quickly to get the generators up and pumping. Try to evade the tunnel out even if we don't manage to get back there on the side of Knight. But we are going to be doing our rounds check, and if we are to take this set home, we have to make sure that no other generators pop. And as I say that, we are approaching the final gen towards the tie condition that is going to be popping momentarily. So we can only really play for the tie condition now, and we've opted to leave the chase onto Chief back onto Lemon here, who has been FTP'd by Dej. After that little broken status effect in the corner there, and Lemon on a full health state. We are going to be blinding the killer on the side of Lemon here. And Knight choosing to ditch his tunnel out, go for something a little bit more favorable, which is Chief, but that is just not the play, unfortunately, and is looking extremely grim as we only have 2 stages on the board. We are going to be following up those scratch bucks, but opting not to chase that and go all the way back down to the middle side of the map, where we have caught out Vish, who has this nice pallet gem here to pre-drop. And I will say that the RNG up top side has been a little bit more favorable on the side of these survivors, but they are utilizing it extraordinarily well. And now we're going to be going back onto our gen patrol here. Our gens are in a nice little cluster, but I think we have to start slugging and making sure we get those back-to-back tags, get those back-to-back downs if we're really to be able to capitalize on this. And, you know, the survivors really picking up on that. As I say that, we do see somebody pre-leave this generator all the way back down to the bottom side of the map, which will be Vish. Going to be not eating a tag and going to be slapping that paladin straight into Knight's face there. But we are going to be going back down to the generators here. We do have Eruption already applied onto that generator at 10, so if we get a nice quick down, and I don't think there's any progression to really dumb down that generator, but maybe in the future it might aid us, who knows. Fingers crossed, touch wood if you're on the side of Ethereal, but we're really struggling to find our survivors here. They're playing it immensely well. They're playing very slow. They're playing the slow game. We have seen these scratch marks that lead back into the bottom side, which leads them to believe, I think there might be 2 survivors bottom side, sorry, and maybe another 2 somewhere stealthing around in the top side. If we can get a quick switch around to what our survivor team is doing, maybe we can get a gist of what the game plan is here. And like I had anticipated, they are pretty fast spread. They are really taking this game one step at a time, which is kind of how you have to approach this situation. They won't want to walk straight into a snowball and kind of screw the whole game over, where we'll be seeing the golden chase, which, you know, I actually really enjoyed watching yesterday. So, I mean the day before yesterday, rather, Tuesday. But that being said, Gohan, what do you think you do in this position, both on Survivor team and on Killer team?
Well, on the Survivor team, I don't have much to say because they're pretty much playing it perfectly. They're making sure they're always leaving the generators when in time. Unfortunately, Dage is going to be caught out though. But Knight, pretty much what he has to do here is he's got to pretty much just go for a generational slug rotation here. And unfortunately, Dage is going to get the reverse stun as well, which is very spicy. Knight is going to have to go all the way around this time and try to get his tunnel out of Lemon. I feel like that's what his ideally situation is as well. He's got to try and get Lemon out of the game ASAP, or at least find Dage and down him, get that Eruption proc going. But unfortunately, he is going to miss Dage as well. And he's probably going to go reset at bot side now. And Vish is going to be sitting on a gen, most likely on main by the seams of it, considering the fact that he's already left his generator. It's either going to be main or it's going to be all the way at 10, but no, it seems like it is the main generator. So now Knight is going to go for that Eruption and call a Brine onto that. Dage has been reset, most likely at the bot mid side, and now this chase is going to be happening onto Vish as well, but unfortunately going to be missing his 2 rushes onto it, and he is going to leave that and just go straight for the bot for this top mid, and now he's going to find Chief as well, and then also find Knight, and Chief is going to stun Knight right after that, but now it is up to Lemon to try and survive as long as he can. Now Lemon's in a situation where he can get 2 rushed here, and unfortunately he does, and there is the Eruption. He now knows where 2 survivors are on the map. One's at main, one's at that mid area, and now Chief is in a little bit of a pickle because he doesn't really know where to go now from this, but Knight is going to secure that hook on to Lemon. That is going to be Lemon down now, but now it's up to the rest of his team to be able to secure at least maybe even a 4k1 situation here. Even if they pop 1 gen, they still win, so hopefully they're going to be able to clutch it out and get the dub for Lemon here. But now Knight is pretty much just going to have to keep rotating here. We do see that Vish is earing and eager to get back onto that gen, and he does get straight back onto it. We do see the pre-leave probably from the Nancy as well. Dage is also going to leave, and Vish is right back on that generator, making sure that that progress is still chugging away. But Knight is with that, probably with that game sense, being able to know that he does need to go back, but unfortunately he is going to go into the bot side of main. So now Vish is going to be able to play this a little bit safer. Same with Dage, and Chief is still sitting on that top mid gen. I don't know if Knight realizes, because now he has seen Dage here at 1. Hunter, this is looking quite grim.
Fortunately, this is the result of not really having any survivors that are injured in the trial, as we did see the lack of succession rate a little bit earlier on from the side of Knight, and it's really starting to make him suffer. And as I say that, we have missed another swing via our bump logic there. And look at these generators here, Gohan. The one over at bottom mid, top mid rather, is pretty close. The one behind main is pretty close to being finished. No survivors injured, like I had said. It is looking extremely bad, and you know, we're just really struggling on the side of Knight, getting a little bit flustered and frustrated. But yeah, like I said, you know, you really need to be converting on those rushes, converting on those downs, especially if you were able to meet the win condition, or the tie condition rather. But as I say that, that will be another gen popping, and that will be Scarlett taking away the win over their OC brethren. Ethereal. Gonna be eating another tag on the side of Dage, but it doesn't really matter too much, as I'm not too sure if this is the Delhi Survivor at the moment. We're gonna be taking that down, and then that slug onto Dage here, going all the way back down to the top mid side of the map, where we do get an Eruption proc here, the first one of the match. That's gonna be a nice little S flick there from the side of Knight, getting that tag onto Chief, and this is exactly what he needed. A little bit more into the trial, but I think the Survivors are playing a little bit more aggressive now that they know they've reached their win con. They know they've taken away the set, and they know they've taken away the series. We are going to be trying to get some cheeky mind games onto our Chief there, who is doing a pretty good job at looping these LNTs, and we're going to go all the way back down to the top side of the map on the side of Knight. But after a game like this, I think you should probably just be taking your you know, your hook stages there, trying to get the game over and done with a little bit more. But he is playing, I guess, for the best possible result, and the best possible result, if you were to 4K1 this, is to kind of slug Chief over at that bottom side of the map. He's not really doing anything. He's rendered obsolete. He's just out of the game at this point, and you just really have to find another survivor pretty quickly if you are to take advantage of a scenario like this. But we are playing a little bit more defensive on the side of Knight here, not really playing too aggressive here. We are going to be protecting our slug, getting a little bit of line of sight on these generators here, so maybe we can get a quick look at what our survivors are doing at this current time. Now they're going to pull this back and try to get Chief off the floor and get the generators working. Maybe our spectator can switch. I'm not too sure if we are there, but if we are not, then I guess we'll just continue with looking at Knight's gameplay here. He has spotted our slug rotate all the way down to the top side, which is pretty interesting, getting picked up in the process there. We have 2 survivors injured as it currently stands. One just off in the distance, probably working that 2 generator, as we do see a few pistons pumping on it and some scratch marks leading away from it. We haven't caught sight of them though, and this is the healthy survivor. This is Dage at the moment, who's ran all the way down into corner 1 here. Still no eyes. Maybe doing a little bit of jiggy and line of sight breakage, a little bit of work there to make the main building, but we've opted to leave that generator and not follow up with the tag onto Dage. We have done the smart thing and go all the way back down to the top mid side of the map, where we spot out 2 injured survivors here, that being Chief and Vish, who are running all the way down, hauling us to the shack, trying to get to those resources as quickly as possible. And we're still not electing to break this on the side of Vish. You cannot ego this pallet. It is so long that even in rush form, it's pretty hard to really play around that, and we've opted to leave that chase there. Continue on the chase back onto Chief here, playing very well. Now going to be utilizing water tower, making some distance. As we know, we've put the blight into fatigue, and now I don't think we make this window here. Actually, we do. That's absolutely crazy. I couldn't really see because of the camera placement, but you know, I've been wrong before, and I'm definitely wrong there. And now we're going to be vaulting straight into the loving embrace of our killer there on the side of Chief, slugging again. We are really trying to take advantage of this snowball slug effect here, and it definitely is possible to 4K1 this on the side of Knight, and I would really love to see it, as, you know, regardless of the fact that his succession rate really wasn't as high as Lemon's, he definitely still has put up a good performance. You know, to 4K1 on the suffocation pit, my god, like, you would expect outs from a set like this, but, you know, both killers playing very well, and now really struggling to get that extra tag back onto Dage. And this is still outable for the survivors, by the way, as we do see that Chief is now back up in the trial. I don't know if they're going to try and play slow and go for some sort of a reset, but they're unable to at the moment, as they have been caught out at this top side once more, and hauling us back to the bottom side. And this is just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I think you have to kind of maybe commit to something here on the side of Knight if you're not really able to get these tags. And again, the succession rate just isn't there, unfortunately. And Dage going to be taking advantage of that, as we do have 3 rushes used, or 4 rushes rather, or somewhere around there. And he's going to be able to loop that main building just a little bit more. But the survivors, Chief and Vish, choosing to play the safe game. I think Knight's picked up on it and is trying to find those scratch marks, trying to find that reset, and he does so ever so nicely. We've gone all the way back down into Shack, which means Dage is just free to work those generators over at that top side here. I didn't expect Knight to really commit this. I thought he would have tried to commit Dage a little bit more, but I think he was a little bit too worried about these two. They're not really, weren't really doing anything other than resetting there. But Dage, I guess, just playing too well not to be able to be downed too early, and now we do play a little bit of the locker, trying to force locker there. Oh, we have been caught and stuck in the middle of it on the side of Vish. Probably going to be playing aggressive for, I was going to say aggressive for the pool, but I guess we're going to play aggressive for the anti-slug here. Do you have anything to comment on this, Gohan? What would you do in this scenario?
Honestly, I feel like you should just tank the deli, and even if he does have the deli or not, obviously you don't know for sure. But in this situation, I feel like you should just tank the deli and just try and get that down. But unfortunately now, I feel like the game is now just slowly and surely going to be slipping out of Knight's hands, especially with how Vish and Chief are playing on this bot mid, or this top mid gen, and then Dage obviously slugging out that generator all the way at 2, and he has pre-left once again towards this top area of main as well. Dage, yet again, still being able to evade the killer perfectly. Unfortunately for Knight, it looks like this game is going to be a chopped cheese for him, but he is trying his best here. He is going to still probably try and get at least the 4K1 win con, and it looks like they are going to be resetting. Going to go for a double reset here on the side of Vish and Chief. Interesting names to have a big stop there to go straight after the other. So we are to see how they go, and it looks like they are trying their absolute best here to get the down tier. Unfortunately though, Dage is going to go down, so now we're going to have to just wait and see what he does, and he is going to go for the pickup. Finally going to be getting that pressure of the hook, so he's going to be hooking next to main, hopefully. Yep, and he does do that indeed. So now we just got to see what Knight can do from this. What are your suspected predictions from this right now, Hunter?
Still definitely outable for the survivors, but it's still definitely holdable on the side of Knight. We have no pressure at the moment, as we did get caught out over at the bottom side trying to go for a reset, playing the slow game on the side of Chief and Vish. But I mean, the only real way we can depict what will happen is if we know what perks these survivors are running, and that is the deli, as we anticipated a little bit earlier on, Gohan. So we have to really capitalize on this fact that we are vulnerable to a down, but we have spotted out Chief, so, you know, 2-tap is just as good if we can get one onto Chief. I'm not too sure if he will allow it, though. Making all the way back down to 4, going to be eating that tag and running all the way back down. Wait, no, it was Renewal. He wasn't the deli player, that was a pull. So who was the deli player? Wait, is Chief the deli player? Hold on.
I'm pretty sure it's Chief.
It's Chief! He's the deli player! No! Okay. Wow, alright. So even I was a little bit flabbergasted at that. I guess I should have anticipated the medkit in hand, but I thought we were going for a little bit of a meta game. But nevertheless, Deli's still in the game. And on the side of Knight, we are going to be following up with this chase here over at the water tower once more. Going to be missing that swing, unfortunately. Yeah, just a lot of missed swings here. Again, it could just be tailored to the fact that the survivors are playing very well around the micromanagement of Knight. We are going to be seeing 2 survivors go back down, hauling ass to get that reset going once more. They really want to be outing this game, and you know, you got to be careful on the side of Knight. You don't want to be running out of kicks on those generators, and we do see some scratch marks here just going back into the middle of the map. This is Vish, who is going to be chasing back into that back window. You know, made enough distance to kind of evade any sort of tag there. Everybody going to be healthy momentarily. Knight doing a really good job to really know where these resets are happening too. He's caught out every single one, so the macro is definitely there. But it's just mighty unfortunate that we've really not been able to quite capitalize on any true mistakes on by these survivors. You know, you can kind of anticipate where they're going to be resetting and whatnot, but as far as all the other stuff goes, I don't know. But nevertheless, Knight going to be going all the way back down to his generators, maybe. We do see some more scratch marks here, and we've been caught out. We're not going to be able to cross that choke point there, but Knight wants none of that chases. He knows there's no real reason to overcommit a chase there. We do see Vish once more. 2 survivors injured, 1 healthy at the moment, so it's looking a lot like, once again, rinse repeat, and we've done some nice micromanagement. That is another miss-swing on the side of Knight here. Yeah, just unlucky and going for that short swing, but anticipating the drop, but Vish a little too smart for that. Playing extra greedy on this pallet on the backside of main here. We do see Chief healed up in the background there. Dage probably next, but nevertheless, Knight still committing this chase at the backside of main here. Gonna be slapping that pallet into the face of Knight on the side of Vish. Maybe we just elect to break this instead of trying to play around the pallet here. And yeah, you can't really play around that. I feel like you just win the 50s 24/7 until you either used your bump logic rushes or until you lost 3 him on the blight. So gonna be playing the Z wall there, and that's gonna be another down. Eruption proc in the background, but we're not going to be picking up Vish. We're going to go for the slug once more and go for some more tags onto these survivors. I think that both the killer and the the killer and the survivors here are very reluctant to take vantage point in this game. The survivors are playing extra cautious. Knight playing extra cautious, which is just going to make for, I do believe now this is like something ridiculous, like a 19-minute match, which is absolutely crazy, as you know, the averages have kind of been more of those 10-minute matches, those 12-minute matches, but, you know, I like a little bit of shake-up here and there. Just gets a little bit hard to kind of see what the next plan of action is on both sides realistically and then comment on it, but we're going to be taking that down back onto Vish, who's just ran to the corner of 10 going for another slug. He is the UB player. Not too sure if that's been used. I do anticipate that it has been used, but nevertheless, Knight going to be back on his round check here, trying to really catch somebody off guard there. Not really seeing anybody at the moment here. Again, just playing extra stealthy, extra careful. But we are going to be finally picking up Vish here, who is not our Delhi player. That is still Chief, keep in mind. But going to be taking that hook onto Vish there, going all the way back down to the bottom side of the map. Maybe just maybe we spot out this stealthy survivor, and we do, and it is Dage who's going to be calling us back to the bottom side of the map, and the survivors are all of a sudden at a major disadvantage as Chief is kind of forced to go for this pull here or committed generator, and he has chose to go for the pull. There is no pressure in the background. Dage just kind of caught out here, playing the dead hard, missing the swing, so both the killer and survivor there making some crucial mistakes. Dage just kind of anticipating that hit coming in a little too early. I think maybe Knight getting caught on the half wall there kind of spawned some panic there on the side of Dage, and he's just kind of dead hard and into thin air, but in the end it just didn't matter because Knight still had missed that rush and now going to be committing chase back onto Chief here, or electing to go back to the hook here. Vish fully reset, Dage off the hook, he fully reset, Dage back on the floor. This is going to be another hook on to our survivors here, and honestly kind of puts us back onto the road of a 4K1. Especially if we can get Dage out of this game as soon as possible. Get those free tags as well on the side of Knight. Do see some scratch marks rotating here, but some nice evasion work there from our survivors for the 10,000th time. And yeah, we're getting that pull. We're hauling back all the way back down to the bottom side. Knight can anticipate this too. He sees them crossing all the way to the bottom again. It just really begs the question, what's Chief going to do here? Is he going to go back for the generators? And we've baited that we're going back for the reset here, trying to catch Chief out off guard. But where's he gone? He's gone all the way down to 3. He's opted to backtrack his steps. Both survivors in the background, healthy now. Chief eating that tag. He is the Delhi player. We have to know to slug this Delhi player if we do down Chief here, because he's just going to instant Delhi as soon as we leave the hook, right? I mean, we're going to be forcing Locker here on the side of Chief. Very quick down there, though, unfortunately. The survivors not being able to really rotate here. It's just kind of caught out, not being able to do anything. Shouldn't really be stealthing for this pull, as, you know, he is the Delhi player, and I think he's caught onto that. And, oh, we're slugging. We're not hooking. I honestly thought there was going to be a hook play there, but we are going back onto Gen Patrol here. I think that maybe we can go for a record 30-minute blight match here, Gohan. I can't lie to you.
Honestly, it's looking like that. On the stream I see, due to the delay, it is a bit behind, but currently it's at like around 18 minutes of gameplay. So I think it's nearing maybe 25 minutes by now, I would say, or maybe even just 22. But they're going tango again. They're going back and forth, and Vish was ready there to pick up Chief whenever he goes down, and that looks like it is going to be the case here, and Dage is slowly but surely withering this generator down into the no-kick territory, but I don't think he can kick it anymore because Knight hasn't gone back to kick it. He's opted to try and chase Dage here at main, and it is looking quite grim because I feel like that if they don't reset, they're going to have to go for that generator, and if he does down Chief again, it's going to be quite rough because he is just going to slug him. But no, they're going to go for a reset, giving Knight basically the A-OK to commit for this chase because he knows no one else is really doing anything other than resetting. Oh, and a lovely dead hard here from Dage, being able to hit it this time. Unfortunately, he wasn't able. He did miss it last time, but this time he is going to get it, and he is just going to keep going his chase. He is going to go to the Z wall yet again, but unfortunately he is going to vault into the loving embrace of our killer, and it looks like they're opting to do that middle gen instead of doing that generator at 2. I don't know if that's a misplay, but to be fair, it is going to be, it was a hard gen to work on considering the chaser was basically directly on top of it. So now it is up to Chief and Vishia, and because Knight knows that Chief is the jelly player, he can kind of just slug Vishia if he can get this tag and get the down as well and just go straight for Chief right after.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rough now. You got 2 survivors left in the trial with Dage gone. Getting out of a 3-gen like this over at the top side is near impossible here, especially if we get this quick tag onto whoever's hauling us over down to this bottom 4 side of the map. It is going to be Chief who's going to be eating the first tag. And is Knight going to leave this chase? He is. He knows that we're going to be working those generators somewhere else in the background there. And Vish was working. This does seem to be 2 side. So going to be taking that pop onto the top mid. Or was it a... No, it's not. Was it I don't think it was Eruption. I don't even know if he kicked it. I couldn't tell.
I don't think he can.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, no, he's probably ran out of kick in all honesty. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But going back to this chase over at the 1 side here where it is Vish going to be committing this now. He's going to be utilizing this main building here, buying some time. Going to be eating a tag momentarily now. I think that Knight won't opt to chase this. He'll just go back to his generators. It's kind of what he has to do at this point in time if he's going to solidify the 4K1, and he does. And I'm pretty sure he hears Chief nearby. Chief going all the way down to the bottom side of the map really has to last here. And unfortunately being caught out trying to go for the flare, and it's not quite worked. And Knight has just all the time in the world to slug this and go all the way back down to 2, where it's going to be extremely hard for Vish to be able to escape this. And now we are seeing the scratch marks lead all the way back down to the water tower here, really trying to push for that pick back onto Chief on the side of Vish, but I don't think he makes it there in time. Going to be playing around the bumps here, missing the swing on the side of Knight, but it doesn't matter. Going straight back down on the floor, on the side of Chief. Deli player back on the floor. Vish running and vaulting back into the loving embrace of Knight, and that will be the 4K1. So even though the matches were very far spread from each other, you had different matches on one side, different matches on the other. Both killers still playing immensely well. You got to give Knight credit where credit is due, even though he didn't quite make the win condition for his team. He should still be very proud of his result. Obviously, the survivors need to really sit down, hone in, really make sure they're watching their match back and try to pick points where we could have done this better, we could have done that better. Why did we do this? Why did we do that? And then just accommodate for those things. But nevertheless, that will be Scarlett taking, I do believe, their 2nd win of the tournament there. And Ethereal just losing their 2nd match, unfortunately. They still yet to find a win, but nevertheless, that will be this series done. Gohan, do you have any closing final words before we, I guess we wait until the next matches arise tonight?
Yeah, indeed. It is very unfortunate for Ethereal. They're still searching that 2nd dub, but I believe that is actually all they wrote for Ethereal. I don't think they have a chance to get into Div 2 now, or Div 1 now, which is quite unfortunate. But they both played exceptionally well. You cannot take that away from them. Obviously, they both did really well, and unfortunately, wasn't the best performance for Ethereal as probably what they would hope for, but both teams played exceptionally well. Unfortunately, Scarlett is just going to be the better team today, and we'll just have to wait and see what they can do for the next matches upcoming.
Yes, definitely. Kudos for Scarlett for winning that and taking that home. Again, playing immensely well. But later on in the night, you will have Lamora versus Phantom Step and Nyx versus Overact. Lamora versus Phantom Step happening at 6. Oh no, that's 6 for me. 9:30 for the east side of Australia, and then 10:30 will be Knicks and Overact. So stay tuned for those. We'll be right back after a quick and short intermission. Thank you, Gohan, for casting me. Thank you for having me, OSL, and we will be back.